you're all doing well. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining me on the planet. My name is June Allen and I am the founder of The Art of Greatness at juneallen.net, and I am a therapist in training. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a mum, and I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so grateful to be doing this work. And today's topic is all about how to get the best, okay, how to get the best out of my mastermind, okay, how to get the most out of the Black Women's Mastermind that I run, okay. So before I get into that, I'm going to just, for those of you that are new to this platform and new to my work, I'm just going to give you a little bit of information as to what I'm about, what I do, how I can support you, how I can help you, and then we'll move on from there. So what I do is I help Black women, I support Black women who struggle with self-love, sisterhood and sobriety. So I came into doing this work back in 2009. I started my own journey, back in 2009. Yeah, off the back of some really, painful relationships. Hi Sam, thanks for joining. At the back of some really painful relationships, I needed to sort of find out what was going on. Why was my picker off? What was going on? So I went into 12-step recovery, had an amazing experience, learned a lot about myself, but what was missing was the cultural context. I didn't understand how to include the fact that I was a Black woman and what that meant in terms of my healing process. So, on the back of that, I just basically became really obsessed with doing a lot more reading, doing a lot more research, exploring my own thoughts, feelings, trying to understand a bit more about racism and all of that kind of stuff. And I was able to apply those things to my healing process. And I just know that I wasn't the only one that was feeling like this. And so I began to share this work a lot more publicly. And that is how The Art of Greatness was born. I just began sharing with a lot more people. A lot more people started coming to me for support and advice, suggestions about, what I was doing. And it just felt really good to be able to give back to my community in that way. So that is how The Art of Greatness was born, and that's how I set up this platform in order to support others, to let them know that to let you know that you're not alone, and to just give you a bit more clarity and understanding and insight as to how racism as a system, how it impacts us personally, and then how that plays out in our lives, how it plays out in our relationships, how it plays out in how we parent. So that's a little bit about me, if you're not sure about anything that I do. Hi Jane, thanks for joining. So basically, hi, thanks for joining, joining in on Instagram and Facebook. Good to see you all. So basically, the mastermind has been the mastermind that I've set up now. That's the kind of focus of my work now. It's been a really powerful place for women to get together, to meet each other, to explore, what's going on in their lives and all the rest of it. So, maybe you've been thinking about joining the sanctuary for a little while, and you've not really had the time to kind of really figure out if it's going to be right for you or not. Or maybe you're already in the sanctuary already, and you'd like some tools, some understanding as to how you can really maximize your experience in the mastermind. And so this live stream is for you if you've been thinking about it, or you're already in the sanctuary already and you just want an opportunity to really learn how to maximize your experience in there. Okay, so if you know somebody who's interested in looking for a safe space, understanding how to take care of themselves, how to heal, then share it with them, tag them. Okay, so I'm going to share 5 things, okay, 5 things that are going to help you to get the maximum benefit out of the mastermind. It's called the Sacred Sister Sanctuary, okay, the Sacred Sister Sanctuary. So the first thing is, use the sanctuary as an opportunity to explore everything, okay, everything around the impact of racism, okay. A lot of us sometimes think that racism is an event, and it's not an event. Racism is a system, okay? Racism is a system, it's not an event. And so what I mean by that is, racism is not just calling somebody the N-word. Okay, that's kind of what a lot of people used to think back in the day as well. I think sometimes people think about it now, but it's not an event, it's a system. which means that, you know, understanding, there's a psychotherapist, she's not with us now, bless her, called Dr. Frances Cress-Welsing. Her work, she talks a lot about racism being impacted by 9 areas of people activity. Okay, hi Jack, thanks for joining. It's economics, education, entertainment, labour, law, politics, religion, sex and war. Okay, there's 9 different areas of people activity. And so when you understand that, it's impossible for you to think about any area of your life without exploring how racism impacts that. And it happens consciously and unconsciously. So when you think that it might not have anything to do with it, there's going to be some sort of angle. There's going to be some sort of angle that, you know, where racism plays a part. So having the sanctuary there, it gives the women an opportunity to really unpick and explore and really think about, actually, well, what part does racism play in this part of my life, and how am I responding to it? Okay, so that is really going to give you an opportunity to think and be really honest with yourself and do some really critical thinking about how it actually impacts you personally, because it impacts people differently. It impacts us differently. We all respond to things very differently. So giving yourself an opportunity to be able to do that, you know, in the sanctuary is really, really important. On top of the live sessions that I do, there's a huge library that I've built, and it's got loads of live streams, it's got worksheets, it's got masterclasses, there's courses in there, there's some book study things in there that I'm going to be putting in there in the next week or two. Some previous stuff that we did that I just need to update in there. So yeah, it's you know, when you use the library, then you can then have an opportunity when you're not in the live calls is to really explore deeper. There's journal prompts as well, but you know, what I always do in addition to the master classes that I do, there's always like a little workbook that goes with it, and you know, quite often there's journal prompts that goes with it as well. So it gives you an opportunity to write out and explore, you know, in your own time what that looks like. Okay. The second way to get the best out of the sanctuary is to attend the live sessions. I would say that these are probably the most, people get the most value out of attending the live sessions, okay? Because not only does it give them an opportunity to connect with others, you know, just having that experience of being around other Black women and being able to share and just hear the wisdom and stuff that comes out of the live sessions is really, really powerful. So it's not just about what I say. A lot of the women get a lot of value and a lot of, you know, a lot of comfort from hearing from the other women when they're sharing their truth, and they're knowing that they're not alone. It reduces the isolation, and it's a really powerful way to build sisterhood. Now, one of the questions that comes up quite a lot around, you know, working with other Black women is that there's sometimes a lot of mistrust. You know, I don't really trust other Black women. You know, and I always laugh because there's been several situations where some of the women in the group have kind of laughed at me, because it's like at the beginning I said, look, you'll really, you know, you'll get to enjoy it. You'll find you'll find your way, and you'll kind of get used to it, and it will be really useful. And they've kind of like secretly laughed at me, like, yeah, right, I'm really gonna enjoy being vulnerable around other Black women. I'm really gonna be able to trust other Black women and all the rest of it. But you know, a few months down the line, once they've settled in, they're kind of shocked, surprised, but also delighted and relieved that you know, they've found a way to connect with other Black women, to be able to enjoy working and being vulnerable with other Black women, because I've put those boundaries in place, and even given them the opportunity to actually have that conversation about the mistrust and about, you know, not feeling comfortable working with other Black women. Maybe it's colorism issues, maybe that, you know, quite often there's mother wound issues, why they find it difficult. And because I put those issues on the table to have that conversation, it makes it easy for the women to come in. If you go to the join page, actually, if you go to if you go to heal.juneallen.net, that's heal.juneallen.net, that's heal.juneallen.net. There is a link there which will take you to the page, the join page, and there is actually a video on that page that is specifically about, you know, how to heal with other Black women when you don't trust them, because that often is one of the things that prevents us coming together to heal, because we feel very triggered by other Black women and we don't know how to deal with it. Okay, so but when you attend the live sessions, it gives you an opportunity to really explore that stuff, because we have those conversations. All right, at the moment, we are at the top of the year. I'm doing a course with the ladies at the moment. We're focusing on a course called Self-Love Essentials, and what that is it gives the women a foundational process, a set of foundational tools for them to do the work. Okay, because later on in the year we're going to be talking more. We're going to be diving deep in a lot more about relationships with themselves, with others. You know, the relationships they have at work and all of that. We're going to be dealing with some quite deep topics, okay? But in order to do that, I really wanted to, hi Marie, thanks for joining. I really wanted to equip the women with a foundation in order to be able to do that work. So that means like this month, the month of January, we talked a lot about setting about sacred commitments, sacred intention. So you know, the last 2 masterclasses we've done this month was on sacred commitments, or you know, kind of a feminine way to do goal setting. And last weekend we did one on vision boarding, and it was vision board specifically around wellness, okay, specifically around wellness. And it was a really gentle, really loving, really nurturing thing. I didn't want it to be a really kind of like masculine way of kind of, yeah, you've got to set your goals, and I didn't want it to be like that. And it was really important to understand that that's not what the women wanted either. So I used that as an opportunity to use those processes to make it a really nurturing process, because you can't move forward and understand what you want in terms of your healing process if you haven't, you know, if you don't have an understanding as to what you need. Okay, so being able to do the goal setting or the sacred commitments, and also then doing the vision board, helps us kind of set the intention for what we wanted. February now, we're going to be looking at how to manage your emotion, and yeah, we're going to be looking at how to manage your emotion, and also we're going to be looking at feelings and needs and stuff like that. We're going to be looking at morning routines as well, the types of things that you need to be doing every day in order to take care of yourself, which is even more important at the moment with this pandemic going on and everything. It's even more important for you to be doing your self-care. But so the masterclasses that I'll be doing in February are going to be digging a lot deeper and giving you the strategies and everything that you need in order to do that. Okay, so that is number 2. Attend live. Okay, attend the sessions live, because the women get so much out of it, out of attending the live sessions. And also they're really boundary. The last thing I'll say about the sessions is that they're really boundaried sessions, in the sense that, you know, everybody gets a space to speak. You're not allowed to comment on what other people say, because a lot of us were raised in homes where we were judged, we were shamed, we were criticised for having an opinion, for having feelings and stuff like that. So setting those boundaries where, you know, you have to honour that sister's truth. Okay, they speak that truth because it is true for them. You might not agree with it, it might not work for you, but that is their truth. And in order for them to heal, they need to have that safe space in order to be able to process that. So that becomes a very, very important way to build trust, to build respect. And also it creates a sense of safety, that the women feel that they can then speak their truth because they know that they're going to be heard. And that is a very, and you know, many of the women have said to me that that's probably one of the most powerful things about attending the live sessions, that they really enjoy. That's been a game changer for them, for them to be able to understand how they feel about things, and you know, being able to trust the other women, because it creates a sense of trust with the other women. So that's been very, very powerful. So that's number 2. The best way to attend, the best way to get the most out of the sanctuary, out of the mastermind, is to attend the sessions live. Okay, if you can't, it's fine. Then obviously there's the replay and stuff, but attending live is really powerful. Okay, so the session, just to finish on this, the sessions are on a Sunday evenings from 5 till 7 London time. All right. So the third thing, okay, share to follow up on your commitments. Okay, the spaces are often used in between the masterclasses. I have a healing circle. Okay, I have a healing circle, and what the healing circle is an opportunity for the women to explore characteristics of self-hate, the tools for sacred self-love, and the promises of sacred self-love. And in addition to that, if the women have been doing any heart work stuff, and what I call homework, okay, heart work is all of the whatchamacallits, the journal prompts and stuff that I do. If they've done watched any of the master classes in their own time, and maybe there's been stuff that's come up for them as a result of doing the masterclasses that they want to explore a bit further. So coming into the healing circle, or doing the Q&A sessions or whatever, it gives them an opportunity to be accountable, to go, okay, well, this week I said that I was going, for my self-care, I said that I was going to do some, say, I can do some Afrobeat classes. And they can come back and say, well, I didn't do my Afrobeat class, and I didn't do it because I was scared, or I was, whatever it is. And it's not a shaming exercise. When you come in and you want to be accountable for yourself, it's not an opportunity to shame yourself or for other people to shame you. It's about you given the opportunity to explore who you are, to understand what's underneath the procrastination, what's underneath the fear, what might be underneath the shame. Okay, but you're not going to know that until you actually show up in the space and actually have the willingness to share what's going on for you. So the space is very much about understanding your own process, because quite often we're so busy as Black women, or we're busy trying to do stuff for other people, that we neglect ourselves, and we don't really have a real understanding of self-awareness. And so the space is a really powerful space to be able to come in and say, okay, this is what's been going on for me this week. This is what I committed to last week, and I did it, and this is what happened. Hooray, that was amazing. Or I didn't do it, and this is the reason why I didn't do it. This is what I learned from the experience. This is all about self-awareness, okay? This is really what know thyself means, okay? Know thyself is not just about pyramids and history. It's about understanding who you are in the present and accepting all of you, and embracing all of the parts of you that make up who you are, and being unapologetic about it, and just being willing and open to look at the things that are really working for you and what's not working for you, and allowing yourself to receive the support and the love from the sisterhood in order for you to help you move forward. Okay, so that is number 3. Use the space for accountability and for sharing your truth. Okay, sharing up and following up on your commitments. Number 4, the best way to get the best out of the sanctuary is to be patient. It's to be patient and to be gentle. Okay, sometimes we might want to come into the space and think, oh, I'm just going to do this for a couple of weeks and it will be fine, or I just want to do this one thing and it will be fine. Healing takes time. Okay, healing takes time, and it takes patience, it takes courage, it takes gentleness. And a lot of times, many of us will come into the healing process and we don't even know what those things mean, because we're so used to being, doing it from a position of a hustle, or doing it from a position of, oh, I have to do this because so-and-so has an expectation for me to do it, or I have to do this because, Black women are supposed to behave this way, and so we don't really have an understanding of what it means to be gentle, what it means to be patient, what it means to be soft. We don't give ourselves that permission to do that, because society says we have to be the strong Black woman. We have to have the cape on for everybody else. We have to have the cape on for everybody else, okay? And nobody's caping for us as Black women. So we have to do that for ourselves. And that means finding a space that is going to feel safe, that is going to allow you to be vulnerable, that is going to allow you to be soft, that is going to give you permission to share your truth, whatever that looks like. There's been many a tear shed in the group, in the mastermind, because the women have felt so comfortable with themselves and have built quite loving and powerful relationships with each other that they feel safe enough to be able to let their guard down and go, do you know what? This feels really upsetting for me. I'm going through this at the moment and it feels really upsetting for me. And just allow themselves to cry, and allow them the space to just to hold them through whatever's going on for them. And that's one of the really beautiful things that I've loved watching, actually. Just holding the space for the women and allowing them to really get in touch with who they are, and allowing themselves to be held by the rest of the group. And quite often there'll be, in the chat, there'll be hugs, going up for the person that's having a difficult time. There's also, there's a WhatsApp group currently as well, and you can see in there that they support each other and they hold each other. as I was saying before, the space is not just about the stuff that I bring into this space. It's about the support and the love that you get from the other women, which is really, really powerful to see. So that gentleness, that softness, that being kind to yourself and being patient and allowing others to hold you through that is really, really important. And also just adding to what I was saying before about black women not trusting other women, you know, being patient and being gentle with yourself includes, you know, that conversation, allowing yourself to really explore, you know, why is it that you don't trust black women? Why is it that you find it so hard to be vulnerable around other black women? And that space will give you the patience and the gentleness to just unpick it at your pace. This is something else that is really, really important part of how I hold the space. It's not a race. It's not, oh my God, I need to get this thing resolved by next week. It's about the women being able to do this work at a pace that works for them. If they're not ready to move on to do a certain thing, there's no pressure. Sometimes it might take a woman a few weeks to feel comfortable to be able to share and to get really honest with themselves. They might show up at some of the masterclasses but not actually feel like they can do the work, and that's okay. Sometimes it's about just allowing yourself to be present in the space, and when you're ready, you will find the time to, or you will find the willingness to move forward when you're ready. But it's just really about showing up when you're ready. But just, you know, just the opportunity to just show up in somewhere that feels safe, you know, often will give you and hearing other people sharing about their own growth process, which is another really powerful part of this, it will give you the strength and the courage to start, you know, taking actions on your own, you know. Yeah, it will just give you the courage and the strength to start acting on, you know, start doing this on your own. There's one, and this is something that's really quite powerful that I see quite a lot. Actually, sometimes you can find that procrastination and fear go hand in hand, and some of the women find it difficult to move forward in doing certain things, and sometimes they can be quite hard on themselves about the fact that they haven't done it, and they're quite surprised sometimes when I say to them, it's okay. It's okay that you haven't done it. Let's just explore the fear. Let's explore the procrastination. Let's explore why you're being so hard on yourself. You know, what does that look like? And how is that really, you know, how is that supporting you? It's not supporting you. Hi, thanks for joining. So you know, and when I give them permission to explore what's going on for them, rather than giving them the feeling or thinking that I might somehow shame them into not doing what they've done, it just creates a different energy. It creates a different energy. It's really giving black women the opportunity to just go, do you know what? I just need to be held. I just need to be seen, you know. But I'm tired, and you know, because healing takes energy as well. That's another thing. Healing takes energy. It's exhausting sometimes doing this work. Okay, so my values around this mastermind is really taking your time, is really being gentle, and really being patient. Okay, if you're interested in joining the Sacred Sister Sanctuary, the Black Women's Mastermind, then click the link in the bio, go to heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. Okay, so that's number 5. Be gentle and patient with yourself. Okay, and the last one, number 5. Sorry, number 4 was being gentle and patient. Number 5 is schedule your Sacred Sister time. Okay, schedule your Sacred Sister time. And what I mean by Sacred Sister time is the time that you have on your own time, like, you know, having your daily wellness time to again build the relationship that you have with yourself. So it might be that you have 30 minutes to an hour a day to do your meditation, to do your journaling, to have reflection time, to do a little bit of yoga, a bit of stretching, maybe a bit of reflection reading, whatever it is. But it's really about the time that you have, okay, with yourself. Hi Faye, thanks for joining. It's giving yourself permission to have that time for yourself, because what you learn in the live sessions and what I teach in the master classes and what you see in the library and all of that kind of stuff, that's just one part of it. But a huge part of the healing process is the time that you spend with yourself as well. It's giving yourself permission to have that honesty with yourself. And quite often, the place where people really start telling the truth to themselves is when they're in their journals. When you start having those moments in your journal and just giving yourself permission to think about who you are, think about how you feel, what's going on for you, you can bring that stuff into the mastermind and begin to share your process and begin to share what's happening with you. You know, the self-reflection and stuff like that happens in the mastermind is really, really powerful. And you know, this is the reason why I do the journal prompts that often accompany the masterclasses and stuff that I do, because you know, it then gives the women a chance to really reflect in their own time on their own process. How is this working for me? How do I feel about this? How has this impacted me as a black woman? How is this impacting my friendships? How is this impacting me as a parent? You know, and there's only, obviously in the mastermind, in the live sessions, you only have a certain amount of time to speak. You have a limited amount of time to speak. But when you have that time on your own, okay, whether it's what you do with your time during the day, your little sacred sister time during the day, or maybe what you're doing, you know, when you speak with your therapist, you can unpack a lot of this stuff. You know, I've been in therapy since 2009, and you know, I love having therapy. I love training to become a therapist, and I love going to therapy because it just gives me the opportunity to unpack stuff. You know, yesterday, I have my therapy on a Wednesday afternoon, and I just went into the session yesterday and I just said, look, you know, can you help me? I've got this thing that's been bothering me and I need you to help me unpack it. And it was just so beautiful to just have her there, listen for an hour and ask me questions about how I felt about certain things, and she would share her perspective on what might be going on or what might not be going on. And then to allow her to help me understand what was going on for me. There was things going on for me psychologically, there was things that were going on for me emotionally, and there was stuff that was going on for me physically in my body. My body was reacting to certain things that I didn't really understand. And at the end, she said to me, you do understand what's going on for you. You just needed somebody to help you, like, you know, unpack it. Like in your emotion, in the therapy space, I needed someone to help me unpack it so I could look at it. I needed somebody to hold me through it and hear me and not gaslight me or you know, tell me to, you know, don't worry about it or whatever. You know, I needed somebody to hold me through that space, and that was so powerful. So what you do outside of the mastermind is just as important as what you do in the mastermind. The mastermind can provide a foundation for you to be able to do the work, you know, but what you do outside is just as important. So the two complement each other, because you can bring all of that stuff into the space and share your experience. And so you end up, you know, with a powerful situation where you're releasing stuff. You're also understanding what's happening at a group dynamic as well, so you can explore that. And so it's a win-win. It's a win-win. You know, it's really important. And one of the things that I've started doing with my with the mastermind, which I absolutely love, I've been trialing it this week, is the concept of creating a power hour, a silent power hour. And what happens in the power hour sessions is, you know, you can use it as a healing space, or you can use it as a workspace, or whatever it is. So you come into the space. I've been doing them at 6 a.m. this week, and we do like a silent meditation for a few minutes. And then we write in the chat what we're going to do, and then we do the work. So some people come in and they want to journal. Some people come in, they want to do a bit of meditation. Some people come in, they want to do a bit of decluttering. I've been doing various things. Sometimes I'll, you know, I've got quite a few essays and stuff that I'm having to write for my therapy training. So I've been using the space for that. Sometimes it's just about updating my calendar, or maybe I've got some emails that I need to write, or I need to get back to, you know, I need to, you know, respond to some clients, or whatever it is, you know. But using that space and having that accountability in the space to be able to do that work for an hour, however you want to do it, it just becomes like a co-working, co-healing space. And that is so powerful. And then at the end of the session, the last sort of 10, 15 minutes, depending on the numbers of who's in there, we just do a little checkout. You know, were you able to achieve what you didn't achieve? You know, what was happening around was there any procrastination? Did you get distracted? And sometimes they'll commit actions. You know, I'm gonna continue with this for the next 30 minutes, or you know, I'm gonna do this today, or whatever it is. And it's just been really, really beautiful hearing people share and understand themselves a lot deeper. You know, there was one incident where, you know, one of the women was like, well, you know, I realized I got distracted. You know, I got distracted doing something else, and I have to keep reminding myself that this space is for me. This space is for me to do my work. And so doing these power hours, you know, I'm going to roll them out officially next week, so that, yeah, they become an official part of the mastermind. So those of you that were thinking about joining the mastermind, maybe you're an entrepreneur. I have women in the mastermind that are studying as well, like myself. I have women that, you know, have leadership positions within the workplace. So whether you're an entrepreneur or you work for a company and you've got essays that you need to write, you've got maybe you're writing a book, again, you've got essays that you need to do, or you've got maybe you just want to do some stuff for yourself. You just want to come in and meditate, you know, for an hour or whatever it is. You can use it as a healing space, or you can use it as a workspace. But having that collective space together just has been really quite nourishing. So I'm really looking forward to rolling that out properly next week. So yeah, this is going to be a really valuable part of actually joining the mastermind. So that's it. That's the fifth thing. Okay, that's the fifth thing about scheduling your Sacred Sister time, whether you're doing it on your own or you can do it now in the mastermind in our Sacred Sister Power Hours. At the minute, I'm doing them in the morning at 6 a.m. But I am planning to have some sessions as well during the day. For those of you that don't, you know, that can't get up that early, maybe you're in a different part of the globe. I do have women in the mastermind that don't necessarily live in London, so it's really important, or live in the UK even. So it's important to you know, to try and accommodate them as well. So I'm going to be rolling out the power hours and stuff next week with some different times as well, if you don't want to do the 6 a.m. slot. So that's it. Those are the 5 things to help you get the most out of the mastermind. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick recap. So number 1, make sure you use this space to explore everything about racism. Okay, because racism is not an event, it's a system. Okay, so you use the space to explore the cultural context and how racism impacts who you are as a human being. Number 2, attend a live session so you can not just connect with me, where I'm sharing and you know, giving, you know, sharing my thoughts about things, and educating you and teaching you, coaching you, nurturing you, championing you on all that kind of stuff. You also get the support of the sisters in the group as well. So that's number 2, attend live. Number 3, use it as a space to be accountable. Share your commitments, and yeah, just use it as an opportunity to really get to know yourself and honour yourself. All right. Number 4 is being gentle and patient. The space is a reminder that you don't have to be the strong black woman. Okay, you don't have to be the strong black woman. Hi Rose, thanks for joining. You don't have to be the strong black woman. All right. So the space is there to nurture your wellness, to nurture your sacredness, to nurture your ability to be soft, and to just help you to, you know, to be the best person that you can be, and accepting all parts of you. All right, the mastermind is there for you to do all of those things, and to understand what your triggers are around being around other black women. If you've got trust issues around being around other black women, if you've got mother wound issues that are preventing you from allowing you to be really intimate, emotionally intimate with other black women, you know, the mastermind gives you that information as well. And number 5, the last one, is to make sure you schedule your own Sacred Sister time, so that you have the time to nurture yourself, to understand yourself outside of the mastermind, and then you can bring in whatever comes up into the mastermind, so they complement each other. Okay, those are the 5 things. So if you know someone, if you enjoyed what I shared today, then please feel free to tag, share with any other black sisters that you think would find this useful. If you've got any issues at all with anything that I've said, and you want more information, you got any questions or whatever, please feel free to DM me. You can email me info@yardofgreatness.com. Oh, you're so welcome, Faith. Anybody that doesn't know Faith, you're going to be getting to know her a lot more over the next you know, few months. We've got some seriously delicious things that I'm looking forward to doing with her. So yeah, So yeah, so that's it. So have a wonderful day, everybody, and I will see you next time. All right, take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. Bye.